Well, hi. So, have you reached a point now where you'd like to start cleaning up your diet, but you're not exactly sure where to start? Well, I have 5 things that you can ditch right away that will instantly clean up your diet. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sherry, and I'm a holistic health coach who works with midlife women and helps them really optimize their health so that they can age gracefully and powerfully. So, the idea of clean eating is really a diet that is sticking to foods that are as close to being whole and natural as possible. So basically, you want something that the food itself is close to its natural form, that it's not highly processed. And a great example of this is you want to eat the apple and not drink the apple juice. And so the first ditch that you want to do with your diet is to ditch the processed foods. And an easy way to start doing this without even feeling overwhelm or confusion about what you should and shouldn't eat is when you go grocery shopping, shop the perimeter of the store. And if you think about the way a store is set up, on the perimeter is where you're going to find all the fresh produce, and you're also going to find all the refrigerated items that are going to have less preservatives and a shorter shelf life. The other thing is when you're looking at the ingredient statement, if you can't say it, don't eat it. And since we're on the idea of ingredient statements, keep the ingredients down to 5 or less on a product. The next thing that you want to do is ditch the dirty dozen. What's the dirty dozen? So the Environmental Working Group every year evaluates all the fruits and veg and which ones have the most exposure to pesticides and which ones have the least exposure. They then publish their dirty dozen list. These are the fruits and veg that have the most exposure to pesticides. So these are the ones that you really want to be very conscientious of and really focus in and buy organic. The other list, the Clean 15, these have the least exposure, and you can feel a little bit more comfortable just buying the regular produce and not having to buy organic. So if you want a list of both of them, go to ewg.org and you can go ahead and download those lists. The next thing to clean up your diet, ditch the oils and the spreads. So vegetable oils and margarine are highly processed. So what does this mean? This means that they actually have a lot of omega-6 fatty acids in them. Now, when our ratio between omega-6 is out of balance with our omega-3 fatty acids, if we have too much omega-6, it actually triggers an inflammatory response in our body. So we really want to avoid that as much as possible. So instead of going for the veg oil, focus more in on avocado oil, on extra virgin olive oil, and you know what? Hey, don't eat the margarine, eat butter. Eat real butter from organic grass-fed cows. The next ditch to get you on your way to clean eating is ditch the sugar. Now, I don't know if you know this, but sugar is highly addictive. It actually lights up the same area of the brain as heroin and cocaine. So when you feel like you have no willpower against sugar, it's not really your fault. It's physiological. It really just, it lights up that pleasure center of the brain. But the problem is when we have too much sugar, it's going to have an inflammatory response in our body. It is also going to promote insulin resistance, which then will start to contribute to weight gain, especially weight gain in the belly area. I would say if you want to sweeten things up, stevia is a great natural choice. The last thing that you want to look into possibly ditching in your diet is ditching gluten. Now, gluten is a protein that's found in a lot of grains like wheat and barley and rye. And for a lot of us, we have gluten sensitivities and we might not even know about this. So one good way is to do an elimination diet of anything that contains gluten and see if you notice a difference. Because if you have a sensitivity to gluten, it might present itself as chronic fatigue, inflammation, digestive issues. Now, I know for myself personally, when I eat gluten, my joints really flare up and they become quite painful. So those are the 5 ditches I have for your diet to get you on the path to clean eating. And if you feel like, okay, great, I can do this, but I need more support, I'd like to be part of a community where things like this are discussed and everyone is kind of on that same page as far as where they want to take their health to the next level, I highly recommend that you come join the Happy Vibes Health Facebook group. Free community, amazing women, great support, and it's a lot of fun. So go ahead and do that, and until next week, peace and love.